Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Lady Calamere, and I am doing my 207th presentation, and I got my assistants, Lady Bost. I'm back from Fort Lauderdale. Got caught in the flood, but we're okay. I want to thank Stephen C. for his hospitality, and also want to thank him for something special, because on Facebook we pretended to be enemies to get information from a certain someone. So thank you, Stephen C. Thank you so much. And I didn't want to do it, but you're the one who convinced me to say those nasty things. But thank you, because it worked. Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for the hospitality. Really, I appreciate it. I know it was crazy with the floods and everything. Yes, Fort Lauderdale area got flooded really bad. And I'm back from Fort Lauderdale. I went all the way down there from where I was. Long trip just to see Exodus, because it was the beginning of their tour. But anyways, I don't want to be talking about Exodus. I want to talk about Brigid. Brigid. Also called Bride. Brigid, and also she's also believed to be the goddess Brigantia. Some people believe it, some people say no. So, a goddess and a saint. One thing that I do not agree, and there are many people who are with me, do not believe she is the lower Maman Brigid. It's just like there's not much in common between the two. There really isn't. And so I'm on board with she's not the lower. But I did do a presentation on her. So if you're interested in Maman Brigid, check it out on my YouTube channel. So, fortunately, she got a little damage from the move. This is hand painted by me. I did the design on her, and I put the flame on her, and I did all the coloring, all the details you see here, and the name and the Irish flag, the the clover I put on, the 4-leaf clover, and the flame, all done by me. So I was kind of miffed that she got a little bit broken here. I'll fix it. Oh no, just a little bit of the flame got broken. Oh well. So, Brigid, from a goddess to a saint, back to a goddess. She was also desainted for a while. She lost her sainthood for a bit, but got it back. So she was canonized by the Catholic Church as a saint. Now there's two schools of thought. That one school of thought say yes, she was a woman that actually existed and became a saint. Others say no, she was a goddess that was moved down to the saint. So my father, one of his favorite female saints was Saint Brigid. So, and he was 100% Irish, born in America, and favorite saints were Saint Patrick, Saint Brigid, and Saint Joan of Arc, of course, Mary. But if you ask my father, he would say that yes, she was a saint, and she was an actual woman. I say she's a goddess. So, and people argue about how her name was pronounced. If you hear the word bride, Bride, that is the saint that's Brigid that's honored in Scotland. So she's honored in England, Scotland. I'm going to talk about as a saint, that she has her different aspect. Of course, she's honored everywhere as a saint in the Catholic Church, in the Roman Catholic Church. So Brigantia is from the Celtic tribe of Britain, which is northern England. She was honored in Wales, among the Manx, Scotland, and Ireland. And so basically, the Romans, when they came to the Celts, land of the Celts, they saw her as their Minerva. But some also see her as Thea, as some people modern day. So as a goddess, and demoted, when she was demoted to saint, she held on to many of her powers. But as a saint, she was born to a slave. Her mother was a slave, and her father was a chieftain druid. But that made her a slave because her mother was a slave. So, but as a goddess, she is the daughter of the Dagda. Now, in ancient times, her mother wasn't mentioned or was lost. But in modern neo-pagan times, she's thought to be said now of the Boan or the Morrigan. But more point, people like to say Boan. But we don't know who her mother was. She's of the Tuatha De Danann, wife of Brez. Her name comes to mean exalted one, or the exalted lady. And some other mentions mean fiery arrow, but it's more of the exalted lady. She's called the bright one, the fiery arrow, the ashless flame, the eternal flame, lady of the shores, moon crowned queen of the undying flame, the fiery one. So here's another twist. Some say the three Brigids are three sisters and three different goddesses, and that Brigid is just a title. So her pronunciation of pre-Christian is Brigid, as well as Brigid. So, would you stop? We have Brigid, with a D at the end. There's also a pronunciation with a T. Bride. And as the three sisters, we have Brigid the poet, Brigid the healer, and Brigid of the forge. Basically, the blacksmith. Now, poet, the bard, Brigid the bard, very serious profession, as you had different types of druids, and one of them happens to be a bard, so a bardic druid. And it was considered bad luck to make fun or to put down a poet, a bard, that it was bad juju. So here's another thing. They say that Brigid is, it's the three goddesses together, so it must mean maiden, mother, crone. That's more, I would have to say that's more of a modern adaptation of the three ladies, because sometimes the three ladies can be three aspects of the goddess. Doesn't necessarily mean maiden, mother, crone. The three things that major things that they do. It also represented, sometimes it could be three maidens, three mothers, or three crones. So it's not necessarily maiden, mother, crone. So sometimes it could represent parts of the day. The three parts of the day. So her elements: fire, primary element is fire. Her secondary element also she deals with is water. Feast day, feast day, feast day is Imbolc, which is now called Candlemas by Christians, but it's Imbolc. Also at one time called oil milk, which is now celebrated February 1st and February 2nd. However, in the ancient calendar, Imbolc was not celebrated at February 1st. It began on February 13th. So oil milk meant used milk, maybe lamb milk, because babies were born, and at this time the mothers produced milk. This was a signaling that winter is coming at its end. And if it was a good day on Imbolc, well, gee, I guess we're fucked, because that's when the Koyak is gathering her wood to keep warm for the long winter, so she calms the weather so she can get the wood. But if it's a crappy day on Imbolc, that means winter is, its days are numbered. But this is a time when the first shoots or the flowers maybe start poking out of that ice, and the days are getting longer, and you can start feeling maybe a temperature shift, and it's like, life is returning, life is returning. Brigid had many sacred wells, so she dealt with wells and her water. I had a friend that one time went to Ireland and went to her sacred well and got me water. And I kept it for a long time. I used it from here and there, but now I don't have any more Brigid water. So her waters are sacred. She has earthly associations as well as solar, where she deals with light and fire and warmth. There are many different names dealing with Brigid. She's a liminal goddess, even as a saint. As a saint, she was born neither indoors or outdoors, but she was born at the thresholds, and she was born at morning. So she's a goddess dealing with the morning. She is it's neither day, it's just the beginning of the light, as if she's ushering in the sun, that she sort of like feels like, it sounds like she's like the goddess Ushas, who brings in the morning, or Eos, that brings in Greek, where she brings Titan, that brings in the morning, that brings in the light, that brings in the sun, that brings in new life, new hope, and new beginnings. A new day, the end. She's like the herald of light and the end of the darkness. So Imbolc, she is the goddess of Imbolc and the saint of Imbolc, but she also, there's another saint that works with Brigid, and if you say she was alive, then this saint, who was a goddess, was the saint, the daughter of Lu, who worked with Brigid. Now, as a goddess, she married Bress, who was a very bad king. He was a Tuatha De Danann, but he chose the Fomorians over his tribe. And he was not a very good king. Brigid has sons, but she loses them to violence and battle. Ruadan was, when he died, she was heartbroken when he was killed in violence. That she was the one to create keening, which, or when someone, you lose someone, you died, it's the screams, the screeches, the wailing, the crying. So with that, she does deal with the dead, with wailing over the dead, and like in the grave of crying for the dead. It shows she's a goddess of keening. She is the ever-living flame in pagan times, and it was carried over into the Catholic times. And instead of tending by priestesses, it was carried by 19 women. Okay, so each day a woman would take over, and on the 20th day, Brigid would tend her own fire. So to this day, men and women take over the time where 19 people would tend the flame, and the 20th would be Brigid. So some people have a candle. Now, usually a red candle, and they would light it and put it somewhere safe. Of course, we'll have this like lock box, right? And that has holes in it, where they would keep that candle, away from children and pets, or they would keep it in a lantern in a safe place. And right before this candle is gonna go out, because it's always, it's tended, they would do chants and prayers, and they still do, and they would light the flame from that candle to the next candle and keep that ever-living flame. And we're talking about for years and years and years. Okay? It should not go out if you do that. So if you decide to do it, please, for the love of Goddess, don't let your house go on fire. Have a little lockbox in your wall or something, and have holes where of course the fire needs oxygen, but put it where, if you're going to do that, that's great. Put it where no one can get it. The goddess knows she doesn't want you to burn your house down. Okay, I don't want you to burn your house down. So the forge and blacksmith was considered man's work. But here we have a goddess showing her sovereignty, doing what she does. And she shows her, she's very approachable, yes. Very kindly, yes. But there was an aspect of her that one time dealt with war, especially Briganthia. But later, in times more softened, more caring, more loving, especially during the Christian times. I mean, we have different aspects to her. We have like Brigid which is Brigid of the Cowless. Cowless, meaning no cows. And we have like Brigid Brigu or Brigu, which is Brigid the Hospitaller. You literally have Brig. Are you really going to destroy my Brigid statue, Loki? No, you're not. Now, we have Brigu, which is the hospitaler. You have Brigid. Like I hope there's Brigid of the Judgments. So again, there's many different aspects of Brigid. And you can see Brigid's cross right here, which of course was taken over by the Christians and saying this is how Brigid convinced the king about becoming Christian. She made a cross out of reeds and described Jesus's crucifixion because, you know, Jesus was crucified on a cross that looked just like this, right? Oh, interesting note, since we're talking about Jesus. She, even though she supposedly was a woman that long after. Hey, no, Loki, that's bad. You're gone. Go. You don't attack an old cat. Go. So even though long after Christ was dead, she supposedly was the midwife to help deliver Christ. So I don't know. You okay, Jack? That wasn't nice. Jack is 16 and a half years old. He doesn't need that. Speaking of which, Brigid is a healer. She will be used to heal not only humans, but also animals, your pets. She's also a goddess who deals with prophecy. So she's also a goddess dealing with prosperity, even as a saint. She can do a thing that Jesus did. You know how Jesus turned water into wine? Well, she can make beer. She can get it just with a handful of malt. She can turn a handful of malt into kegs and kegs and kegs of beer. Yeah. Beer fest. Where she even in the prayers to her and poems that she would like to turn heaven into full of beer. Where she would even be with her godly people and hang out with Jesus and drink beer with him. And all the angels would get drunk and drink beer, 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 beer. So, in the pagan times, she made beer. She can, even as a saint and as a goddess, can make butter. Loads and loads and loads and loads of butter. Butter and beer. And she is a goddess of food stores. She's a goddess that can not store like a supermarket, but stores of food. Or she can make food. So she's a goddess as well as a saint that take care of the needy. She takes care of the poor and those who are downtrodden. And she's also now a goddess as well as a saint, believe this or not. LGBTQ, even as a saint. She also, and I know Christians don't want to hear this, but you're going to hear this, and this is from the Catholic point. She was a saint that caused an abortion. This lady that came to her and she wasn't chaste and she said she got pregnant, and she confessed her sins to Brigid, and Brigid basically caused the embryo in the womb to disappear. What's that called, people? That's called an abortion. So, yeah. As a saint, She took care of women. She actually, as a saint, she was with another saint. I'm trying to think of her. Oh, I can't think of the name, but a daughter of Lou, who she stayed in the same bed with. She refused to get married. She fought against marriage. And why her father tried to marry her off when she could make butter pretty much almost out of thin air, and she could make miracles of food stores and loads of food and do all these miracles, you know. But anyways, I want to try to keep more in this section of the goddess, but it's a little bit hard because she's one of the goddesses that wasn't forgotten. Like some goddesses, when Christianity took over, in order to take over, people would not let go of Brigid. So goddesses like her were turned into saints. Others were turned into just like as the tragic heroine, hero woman, or demonized, or turned into the Fae. She became venerated as a saint. Her number, sacred number, is 9. Her oak trees have been associated with her. I'm not sure back in ancient times, but I know in modern times she's been associated with the oak. So offerings to the goddess Brigid would be, of course, beer, as well as IPAs and ale, butter, milk, cream, blackberries, eggs, bread, cakes, fire, flame. So if you can't light a fire in your home, a flame will do. Coins. I'm trying to think what else. Sweets. Can't go wrong with chocolate. But sweets. Honey and honey cakes. Fresh water. You can't go wrong with that. So there is also an offering known as Brigid's bed, which is basically a basket made from rushes, rushes, and it's put together and is placed near the hearth, or nowadays like fire, next to the fireplace, just don't want to catch on fire, or to the near the stove, the oven. So sometimes people put the phallic shaped wand inside it, or with a wand with a pine cone on it. Another name that's also, it's a nickname that's given to her, especially in Ireland, is Biddy, Biddy. So if you see any bars or pubs with the name Biddy on it, you know it deals with Brigid. Biddy, like there's a pub I used to go to called Biddy Early's, and that dealt with Brigid, so they would call her Biddy's bed. Her most sacred place in the pre-Christian era was Kildare, Ireland. Kildare, Ireland. Also known as the city of Brigid. Breed. So a temple fire was once kept, and it was located on the sacred Ireland off the coast of Sligo. There were different rivers that were named in her honor. The Brigid in Wales. There was River Brent in England, and Brigid in Ireland. So there she deals with not only just wells, but also rivers. She does work with the fae folk in paganism. So she's going to work with nature spirits, earth spirits, energies of plants, the fae folk, the fairies. So if you have a problem, let's say you're having issues with them, maybe a misunderstanding, and there's some fairies that just don't like us. There's some fairies that don't like animals, certain your pets. There are some nasty fae energies out there, and there's good ones, but again, we're not dealing with human morals, okay? So throw that out the door. It's different, but there's just some that just don't like us. Gee, I wonder why. But anyways, even before we were trashing the planet, there's just some that just didn't like us. And now some of them, the way we do trash the planet, are very cautious, very wary of us humans. So sometimes we just have to really earn their respect and show we don't mean any harm. And it's always good if you know there's like spiritual energy around something. There's spiritual energy everywhere, but like some people who went to cut down a tree in their yard, and those fae folks, they had all sorts of issues. So if you're having an issue, the greatest thing is to call Brigid and Breach to bring peace, because she can help you with that situation. If she has to, she will remove them if she has to. So especially, she's a mother, and especially if they're going after your children or your or innocence. Brigid does like offerings of poems and songs. So her favorite people, let's get into that: poets, writers, authors, songwriters, artists, artisans, midwives, mothers of young children. She's a counselor, especially when you lose someone. Okay? So if you lose someone, again, she's the goddess of keening. She understands loss, especially loss of a child. She understands that. So animals that are associated with her, or pure white bulls, white cows, especially white cows with red ears, those are the fae cow. And it was said even as a saint she was fed from the milk with a white cow with red ears. Pigs have been associated with her. And I know in Ireland snakes were not native. So, but now snakes have also become one of her animals. Horses. So she has a magic cloak. You see, and it's green. And she's able to transform the land with it and bring life to it. So in the Christian era, with this cloak, there was a king of Leinster. Brigid wanted to bring to, she wanted to have a nunnery. And the king kind of was greedy and he didn't want to share any land. So she says, well, can I just have much land as my cloak cover? And he was like, yeah, sure. Just get out of my face. She took her cloak and covered the big pieces. She turned her magical cloak into a big cloak, covered the land. And he had to honor it. He was pretty pissed, but he had to honor it. So, and it was said that she was sainted by Saint Patrick himself. And interesting, like I said about men's job. She has a type of staff that only male abbots would have. Here she's holding a staff. This is also how she also became more of the LGBTQ, because she does woman jobs as well as men jobs of forge and healing, and she has a male staff. And it was said that St. Patrick tried to make her a priest, and wow, that's very progressive, especially for him. But people got mad, and I said, well, I guess God had her for greater things. So she's definitely for women empowerment and for women's rights. And oh, I don't know if you saw this. I painted that too. So women's rights and women's freedom. Brigid is a master shapeshifter. She can turn herself and basically anything she wants or anything her devotees need or want or desire. Sort of like the Hindu god, in Hinduism, the goddess or god would turn themselves into any deity that the devotee needs for the love of the devotee, for the divine loves us so much, it will come as this deity, this being, that being. Well, she can do the same. She could be a spark, a flame, a fire. She could turn herself into any physical form. Okay? Like the god Loki, he can become anything he wants. So can Brigid. She is also a goddess of magic, magicians, and witches. She's a powerful spellcaster. Even in the Christian era, as a saint, she did so many freaking miracles. I mean, I'm surprised no one freaking burned her as a witch. Brigid can communicate with nature, with animals, she can teach you how to communicate with crystals. This goddess can teach you how to communicate with herbs, with trees, with the wind, and communicate with grass, with the earth itself. She can teach you how to have communion with water, with a well, with a river, with a stream. She can help you to learn how to connect with the energies of the land, of the energies in your home, to really connect with the air, with the energy, with the power that we can't even see with our physical eyes. She can help us commune with spirits. She can help us commune with our past loved ones. She can help us commune with our past lives, with our energy, our aura, all our energy around us, our chakras. She can help us communicate with everything. Why aren't people talking about this? I don't understand, but she can literally help us to build energy, to learn how to manipulate energy, to send it, to take it, to push it away. She can help us to push away bad energy. Someone sending you energy that you don't like, that you didn't ask for. Doesn't matter if it's meant for your own good. You didn't ask for it. And if you're under 18, well, that's different. Your mom wants to do something, your grandma wants to do a healing. But there's also a thing of free will. Okay? And if you feel it wasn't for your own good, you can learn how to push it away. Open up portals and close portals, to communicate with portals. And if you can't get that damn portal closed, she can teach you how to put a screen. She can teach you the ebb and flow with the energy. She can teach you how to communicate with fucking tarot cards. I literally said it. Tarot cards, oracle cards. She can teach you how to communicate with sound, to work with sound, to communicate with our deities. She can help us. And like I said, she's a liminal goddess. She is more powerful than people give her credit for. Even as a saint, she was so friggin' powerful. I mean, she did the shit that Jesus did. Pretty much. Healed lepers. Manifested butter from almost nothing. Well, Jesus took the bread and fish and made loads of bread and fish. She did the same damn thing. She turned, and even as a goddess, she turned a handful of malt. Let's make kegs and kegs of beer. And there's even a poem where she turned a lake into beer. And writings, she turned a lake into beer. And we're talking about an extremely powerful goddess that's like, this goddess. It's like you brush away breathing to its symbol, call it's Brigid sign, and then they she's passive. And there is passivity about her, but there's a sovereignty about her. And it's overlooked. And look, I put this. You see this? This was equal to a crown in pagan. This represents royalty. You see this right here? Royalty. That's why she has that, people. That's why I put it there in the green eyes. The green eyes. I didn't give her any hair. I had it as if it's just, it's not that I said she didn't have hair. It's just, this is the way I did it. Gold for wealth. She's a goddess of wealth. She's a goddess of prosperity. People, if you're doing spells for money, think about Brigid, bride, whatever you want to call her. Whether you're working her as a saint or as a goddess, she is a goddess of prosperity. And prosperity is not just money, but she can bring in that cash flow, people. She can bring in that food. She can bring in that medicine. She is a powerful, powerful healer. Oh, Brigid, help me. I'm choking. Whew. She's a goddess who saves lives. She is life returning after winter. And as I said, she is a goddess of liminal spaces, meaning she's a goddess of mourning, mourning. with the sunrise. She's liminal. She's between spaces. She's between the threshold of the doorway, neither inside or outside the threshold. So she is the threshold in the spirit world. She lives with the spirits. She is the thresholds of everything. She is the liminal goddess. Birds that are associated with her, I forgot the birds, swan, but also now, I don't know if this is more modern, but vultures. So, she is a goddess that can help you connect your mind, your thoughts. There's also another Saint Brigid. I hope I'm saying it right. F-F-R-A-I-D in Wales. And that's a Welsh name. F-F-R-A-I-D. Sorry. Again, I don't have notes. I don't have a script. So you just have to deal with the chaos. No, but she deals with that. No, she deals with the hearth and home. She's a goddess of the hearth and home. She's a goddess of the fireplace. She is a goddess of your cooking fire, whether it be outdoors or indoors, your barbecue pit, your grill. Now modern days are stove and ovens and our air fryers and our deep fryers. She is the goddess of that. She is the goddess of feeding and food and nutrition. She is the hearth in the home. She is the warmth of the fire in a cold night. She is the comfort of the fire. She is the goddess of marriage. She deals with marriage. She deals with the marriage, whether it's a wedding or a marriage. So she deals with that. She's a smithcraft. She is a creatress of all art, and she deals with the arts. She deals with singing, with poems, with all that, books, and just think of books, writing. She is... But she's also, here's another thing with a saint. And this shows that she's a badass even as a saint. 2 lepers came to her. This is what Brigid can do even as a goddess. So listen up. Listen up. So there was 2 lepers that came to her and like, oh, please help us, Brigid. We can't take this. We're sick. Look at us. No one wants to be with us. We smell. We're horrible. So she says, okay. So she says, listen, what I want you to do is bathe this leper. And when you bathe this leper, you're going to be healed. So, well, no, actually, sorry, got a little bit backward. So she has these 2 lepers, and she says, well, I want you to do is wash this leper. So the leper that got washed was healed. All the sores gone magically, like, boom. And he was healed. And she says, now wash him so he may be healed. And he goes like this to Brigid. Please don't let me do it. Please, please. I'm healed now. Why do I have to do it? Please don't let me touch this dirty, stinking man. So Brigid got a little bit angry and she washed the leper herself, right? So that other leper got healed. And you know what she did? She looked at that leper and oh God, the sores came right back on him and they were worse than before. Yeah, she can take away illness, but she can sure fucking give it to someone. So she can strike down your pride. Basically, moral of the story, don't be an arrogant fuck. You know, because she'll smack that arrogance out of you. She'll slap it like the taste out of your mouth. So she was also allegedly, so goddess is a mother of inventions, right? She invented the whistle. Allegedly made the first whistle, which was intended for women to keep them safe from sexual assault, so they can blow this whistle. So now, when we think about it, let's get to it. A tool we can use, a whistle we can put on her altar, and we can use that whistle with Brigid and blow it as an aid to say, please help me, Brigid. Bridge, whatever you want to call it, bridge. I like to say bridge, but for the sake of this, I know some people get so angry. Why are you going? Goddess, my name is named Brigid, not Bridge, and you're butchering my name. So you can ask this goddess with the whistle for aid. And even at night, if someone's trying, you could have whistle, but now you have these alarms that are even louder, and you press this alarm and that's just can wake up a whole damn neighborhood. And of course, spraying mace in the face can also help, where mace is legal in your neighborhood. But this alarm is meant to call on her aid. And interesting enough, if you're being assaulted by certain spirits, especially fae folk, okay? Fae folks hate. If your fire alarm goes off, they don't like it. So if you feel, I have no problem with the fae folk, but some people do have problems. And if you are being assaulted by certain spirits, that whistle can really disrupt it. So, yes, alarms and fire trucks and all can really be assaulting to their hearing. That's why sometimes you do a cleansing in your home. You ring that bell, gong, ding, or gong, because it's supposed to push away like spirits. So if you work with the fae folk, just tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to be blowing this whistle, and I don't want to disrupt you, but blowing that whistle, especially as loud as you can help you with certain energies. How long have I been talking about Brigid? Wow, that felt like only 15 minutes. How did time pass? So Brigid, she is even as a saint, as a goddess, has this aura of light around her. This bright light. Now I put silver here, and my reasoning is also and I have gold here, right here. So I put both colors for gold and silver for the goddess, and also that fiery solar energy that she has. And as you can tell, I have the Irish flag here. I put white, orange. Can you see the white, orange, and green around the star? What else can I talk about this goddess? So, Brigid also deals with the spinning wheel, metalworking tools, the cauldron, Brigid's bed, Brigid's cross. You can make your own little. You can also. People will make when they call upon her, and you don't have to keep the candle lit forever. Okay, if you have to put out the candle, goddess knows you have to put out a candle. So you can have a candle and a cup of water or a bowl of water to represent her her water. And you can also have a green altar cloth. Here I have the sacred wheel of the year with the goddess, or the goddess symbol, and the phases of the moon here. Ooh. So she's a goddess of light, of aura, of fire, of energy, the light of the energy. She deals with the aura. She can help you with your aura. She can help if you got some messed up shit in your aura. She can help you cleanse that aura. She's a goddess of cleansing, of cleaning and purification. She's a goddess of consecration. She does all that, and she can clean your house, your energy, the energy of your home, the energy of your land, your animals. She can do purification. She can help you cleanse that energy, and I can feel the energy in my hand. I literally don't know if you can see it, but I can damn well feel it. Like, I just talking about her is just so much energy. She's a goddess that deals with that. One of my cats is throwing up. Really? I gotta see what's going on. I'll be right back. But I'm a cat mama, so I'll be right back. Which baby is puking? It was Jack, the old cat. So she is the goddess of energy work. And when we think of energy work, think of Reiki. Think of healing with energy and sending energy. But she can also be a goddess of great protection and defense. Great protection and defense. Do not think she is weak in that. Do not. She can teach you about magic. She can help you with magic. She can help you feel magic, to see magic, to smell things out, to smell energy. I know that sounds weird, but to really hone in on your senses, your psychic senses. She can help you with divination, fortune telling. She can help you. She can help you with all of that. To manipulate, see energy, to move energy, to send it. And she's very protective. She's very protective. So, and she is very approachable, even for newbies. So, you don't have to worry about that. She's pretty damn patient. She's very patient. Okay, she doesn't have this impatience about her. She's very patient. She does a lot of succor. She's consolation. She's a goddess of succor. She's a goddess of she can coddle. She can do that. Oh, but she can also teach lessons. So she can give us, but she can also take away. Especially if we're being very naughty with things. And we're being, and she, like what she did with the king. And even with her father as a saint, she took his sword, and gave it to a poor person. She's very charitable, even as a goddess. She's a goddess of charity. So if you're doing charity work, you can ask her to help you. To raise money for someone, maybe a GoFundMe for something. She's very charitable. It is even said that as a saint, she gave bacon to a dog. So she's charitable with animals, organizations, children. She deals with charity. She is a goddess of charity. And a lot of these powers of the saints and of Saint Brigid was taken from the goddess. As you can see, she's not being burnt to death. This is a fire that's not consuming. She is as if she's part of the flame. She's part of the fire. It's not hurting her. It's not consuming her. It's not taken away from her. Yes, I did see the fire going up here. The flame sparking on her green cloak. But it's not, it's a smokeless flame. There's no smoke. She's holding a smokeless flame. She was said to have red hair. Very pale skin and red hair. Believed to even some people have said green eyes. But you see her dress, I gave her more of not a saint's clothes, where I gave her, you know, I didn't put it like up to here. But seriously, look at it as a saint. She's holding a male staff that the men would hold. So we see that why the LGBTQ chose her. So she is associated with childbirth. She is a goddess to help protect mother and child and to help the midwife. There are prayers. Bride, come in. Your welcome is truly made. May you give relief to the woman when she's given birth. And that's Scottish, of course, as you see bride. Anything you see bride, B-R-I-D-E, that's Scottish. Okay? So just remember that. And F-F-R-A-I-D, that's Welsh. Brigid is a goddess of wisdom, of intelligence, of understanding. She can help you with that. So if you're trying to learn something, she can help you learn things. She can help you learn subjects such as like math, science, the occult. So like, what's his name? She is a goddess of inventors. She is, like I said, a goddess of inventions. She is the exalted one, the high one, the great one. These are all clues. That the titles she has is all clues to who she is. Look at the titles of her name to see who she is. So like I said before, in modern times, people like to say it's Morrigan that it was her mother, or Moan, but in ancient times, we didn't know. But in Christian times, she's a daughter of the high druid, chief, or a king. I'm just trying to think. And a slave woman. She can help you write chants. She can help you write a ritual. Again, all that is in her domain. She's a goddess who takes away the darkness. She's a goddess to help take away ignorance. She's a goddess that brings in the morning sun. Bring in the spring. So in Scotland, in the Scottish, it was a Coelach that kept her locked up. And that her Coelach's son, Coelach, her son, Angus MacOg, falls in love with Brigid. And he helps her escape, and she becomes his queen. In which, because of that, spring comes, and then it's gets Brigid bride and locks her up again, and it's just a story of. I didn't find a group or device named Family Room. Huh? I looked someone else. Sorry. I just wanted to put that there. I do want to sum this up because we're going on for an hour and 6 minutes. So she's also a goddess of warmth for the cold. She is refuge for those who are outcast and unloved. Her heart is larger than the whole world for loving and caring and nurturing. She's a goddess she's a goddess of food, like Annapurna, the Hindu goddess of food. I'm not saying they're the same deities. I'm saying that she feeds. She feeds the body, and she feeds the hungry heart and the hungry mind and the hungry soul. She brings literal and figurative food. She nurtures every bit of our being. And she can increase or decrease energy. She can burn away the old, the unneeded, that no longer serves us. I'm not saying old people, that no longer serves us. And she's to create a fire, to create a force, to bring in things that we desire and need for our lives. She is the goddess of inspiration and of the mind. She's that aha moment. The goddess of thought. So she is the life bringer. She brings the flowers through the frost as she brings the baby out into the birth canal. So she has a son named Ruadan, who she keens for, but in some stories she also had she also had 3 sons with Turian named Brian, Yukharba, and Yakhar. Hope I'm saying it right. Yukharba and Yakhar. Some people confuse her role with Danu. They conflate her with Danu. With Danu. No daughters that I know of is attributed to Brigid. And all of her son does tragically die by violence. Like, Ruadan is killed after he tries to assassinate the Smith god, Goibnu. So that was with the War of the Fomorians. And Brian Iakar and Iukharba die trying to complete a certain task that was given to them by Lug as punishment for killing his father. So Lug, aka Lug, as I described it in my other video, and I think I described this, that he makes sure that these three brothers try to complete a task of nearly impossible tasks. So they die. So she loses her sons. So she knows loss. She knows the pain of loss. So she's a good one to go to when your heart is hurting. She's even viewed as the sister of Angus MacOg. And of course, since she is the daughter of Dagda, she has like the brothers Kermit and Ed. And that's according to the Labor Gabala Aaron. She is connected to agricultural fertility. So if you're growing that garden and you need the help with the green thumb and agricultural fertility, it could be a big farm of crops, or it could be your little tomato plant outside in your garden. She's the goddess of agricultural fertility. So, anyways, I do want to thank you for listening to me. And I do want to say that I am home safe. There was major flooding in Fort Lauderdale. It was pretty much historic flooding. Yes, streets did turn into rivers. I said to hell or high water, I'm going to that Exodus concert. So I went to the concert. I saw Undeath. Undeath played first, then The Darkest Hour played, then Exodus, and then Fit for an Autopsy. So 4 bands. I do want to thank again Steve for his hospitality. Also, I do want to say some good news. Jack went to the vet. He's no longer in kidney failure. His kidneys are high normal, so we have to just keep a watch on that. He doesn't have any problems with his thyroid. Tested negative for leukemia. Tested negative for FIV. Now we have to test him for IBD. which is irritable bowel disease. So he's 16 and a half, and he could sure use your prayers and spells and good energy. I can sure use your good energy and spells. Uh, I accept all good spells, so you can send good spirits to me, good energies for money, prosperity, good luck, health and healing and protection, especially protection too. Since I do not have as yet a Patreon account, I do these videos for free. Send healing to Jack. He is 16 and a half. He's part Bengal. He could really use some healing. So we did get some good news, but we're not out of the woods yet. So it's a lot of work with this cat to keep him alive. Send all your love and energy to me, my cats, my home, and I will accept that. Also, do share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to my channel so I know I'm doing a good job, and give me that thumbs up. And hit me up in the comments. How do you work with Brigid? What do you give her? How do you honor her? Have you ever heard her as a goddess or just as a saint? So do you work with her as a saint or as a goddess? What else? Yeah, I do sometimes go to Fort Lauderdale to see the concerts. I'm not going to Miami. No, I don't go there. There's a lot of concerts where I want to go to, just don't seem to be in my area. That sucks. Anyways, I used to live in the area of Oakland Park. Then I moved up farther and farther up north. So, what else did I want? I know I wanted a dynamic analysis. I think that's it. But do send your good energy at me. Even if you see this video 10 years from now, I will still accept good energies, good protection and healing for my animals. And I know Jack will not be alive in 10 years. But, you know, he's getting old. Oh, here he is now. Jack, what's up? Come on, boy. You want to come up here? So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And, you know, never give up on your older animals. If you do have money, I mean, I'm not saying you spend money where you don't have it, but, you know, old animals deserve love too. You know, I adopted you know, you adopt older animals and younger animals, and so, you know, they need love too. And anyways, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and as always, blessed be.